And of course, the Occupy protests were fueled in part by our troubled economy. Occupiers outraged by what they see as corporate greed and unfair distribution of wealth. And there's other economic news to be concerned about in the week ahead. Financial expert Gene Marks is here with a look at rising gas prices and beyond. Hey, Gene.
Hey, Joyce, how are you?
I wish you had better news. I'm hoping you're going to tell us some in a minute. Okay, our region is still below the national average for gas, just below.
Yeah.
But we're still paying more, so how does that affect what we pay for and don't pay for as far as other goods? It's trickle-down effect, isn't it?
Fair enough. Yeah, it really does. I mean, you know, we're all limited in the amount of money that we have to spend in our paycheck. So as the price of gas goes up, it takes away from what we have available to spend on other things. Food prices are also going up, too. You know, there is a little bit of good news, Joyce, I can tell you. When we talk about the rising price of gas, a lot of it is so far out of our control because of things going on in the Middle East or, you know, supply and demand around the world. But one thing to keep in mind is that oil is purchased with the U.S. dollar. And the U.S. dollar is 15% less in value than it was before the recession. So there's a lot of talk among economists and also in Washington as well as what could they do to boost the value of the U.S. dollar? Because if they weren't able to do that, gas itself would become cheaper. If we were to return to the value before the recession, you know, our gas prices would go down to almost $3 a gallon.
Wow.
So that's going to be an interesting thing for people to kind of keep an eye on as the campaign season goes along as well.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Is there any direct connection between gas prices and, say, the housing industry as far as home building and the pricing?
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, when you're looking to buy a house, bankers are looking to see how you're going to service your debt. So the more ability you have to service a debt and service a mortgage, then the better chance you have of getting a mortgage and buying a house. So as the price of gas, as the price of food goes up, as the price of all commodities go up, you know, it eats into your income, which means you have less available to service debt, which then sort of impedes your ability to buy a house. So all of that has a direct correlation to the housing industry's problems that's going on right now.
What about home buying and selling, the outlook for our area, urban versus suburban?
Well, this week there's going to be a lot of information coming out in the housing industry. So if you're looking to buy a home, keep your eyes out for this data. For example, the National Association of Home Builders is coming out with their Builders Confidence Index. We're going to see pending home sales, existing home sales, and new home sales numbers all come out this week. Now, no one's expecting anything to be so incredible, but we are expecting a little bit of an uptick in those numbers.
Really?
Won't get back to where it was before the recession, but again, if you're looking to sell a house, you're looking for more confidence in the housing market, which hopefully that'll translate into a little bit more price influence, right? So keep an eye on those numbers this week. You know, hopefully if things look good, maybe it may have an impact on what you can get if you're selling your house.
And very quickly, buying versus renting now.
You know, right now, the way home prices are, because they've been flat or going down, you know, it's really been a renter's market, Joyce. So a lot of people are doing it. It just depends on your own personal situation. Before I go, let me tell you, and I don't give a plus or minus to anything, but Realtor.com has a really good buy versus rent calculator as part of its website. So if you go there and you're looking to buy a house or looking to just rent in the short term, you go to Realtor.com and they actually have like a pretty good calculator you can use. I've had a lot of clients go to it. It's been very helpful.
Good advice.
Sure.
Gene Marks, thanks so much. Good to see you as always.
Thanks, Joyce. You too.
All right. Well, Apple has not yet released how many of its new iPads it has